Good evening, everyone. T-Speaker 222 XRP Future Millionaire with the side bet on XM and Future Digibyte OG. So, we got a couple things to cover. I wanted to cover XLM as well before we start to move up a lot. And yes, Charlie. Voila, Tom. When are we gonna crash? Are we still gonna crash? Yes, Charlie, we're gonna crash still. Tom, you said we were gonna crash. Is today the day of the crash? No, Charlie, it's not the day of the crash. Are you watching the technicals? Tom, clearly we can't crash without FUD. Tom. I love you, Charlie. I've answered the same motherfucking question. How many times do I have to say, yes, we're gonna crash? Tom, this doesn't look good. Tom, when should I sell? Tom, it can never crash. Tom, yes, it can, and it will. And no, I haven't changed my opinion. Tom. So now we have the Charlies of the audience. So just when I thought we couldn't get any worse, we've got Lewis. Now we got to go through the rundown for all the people new in the audience. So basically, Lewis, and there's 3 stages of Lewis, and this is not a joke, so stay tuned, and this is a fiery episode. So the first Lewis said, Tom, you're the best technical analysis I've ever seen. I don't know how you can predict it like this, but XRP travels between the lines. Yes, I kid you not. He said. So basically, you got the support, you've got the resistance. I call them OSU, which we'll be getting back to more because the Michigan season's starting. But some of you who started watching it, towards when I was pissed off at Michigan still, in the beginning of my YouTube career. And this is Michigan. So basically, it's Michigan goes up, they can't do nothing, and Michigan goes up and they get blocked, and that's just the way it goes all the fucking time with Michigan. So now that we've got that out of the way, I'm not going to go into the whole John Madden. I can do that in a later episode because I need to stay on point because this is relevant. So if you guys don't know Lewis, he said it would go between the lines. So basically, XRP would always do what I say, but it would have to go between the lines to come down to prove support or resistance. So I asked him another thing, and then he said the stupidest thing I've ever heard about DGB. And it made me go off, and I had one of the most epic rants of all times, and it went something like this. Lewis, how are we supposed to know if it's resistance or support? Lewis, if it doesn't go between the lines? Lewis, how do I know if it's support? Lewis, or if it's resistance? Lewis. And then, if that couldn't get any worse, I start doing that, and another Lewis says something, but I didn't know he was Lewis because his YouTube name wasn't Lewis. So then I had to go, Lewis. How do I know who you are, Lewis? Your name on YouTube isn't even Lewis. I love you long time, Lewis. I love you, Lewis. I don't even know your name is Lewis. And then, if it couldn't get any worse than that, but it got even better when it came to Lewis, ironically. So then we had another Lewis who was ashamed of his name of Lewis, which is the 3 stages of Lewis. So then we have Lewis. How do I know what it's going to do? Lewis. If it can't travel between the lines, Lewis. Then we have Lewis. I don't even know who you are, Lewis, but I love you long time, Lewis. And then we have good Lewis. Everybody loves Lewis. Why would we hate Lewis? Lewis is a good guy. He's good in the community. In fact, he's given the biggest donation in the history of the show. So that's the 3 stages of Lewis. And now, when that couldn't get any worse, now we have Tom. This is Charlie. Can you please tell me what's going on? Tom, you said we're going to crash. Tom. Then we have, yeah. So, yes, it's still going to crash. Tom, you said we're going to crash. Well, Tom, is he mocking me? Bob, I don't have time for your shenanigans right now. This has been going on far too long. And then we got Bob, which is the every person. The everybody who thinks they know more than everybody and they can't make a bad decision and then they blame me for everything. Voila, Tom, you're a douchebag. Point in case. So I don't know how many more personalities I can come up with for this audience, but you guys are doing it for me. Tom. Crash. Yes, Charlie, we're going to crash. Tom. Where's the FUD going to come from, Tom? Without FUD, Tom. No FUD, Tom. You don't need FUD for a crash, Charlie. You need FUD to make a big rise out of nothing. The FUD's already out there. That's why we're going up. Charlie. And some of you guys are like, holy shit, I can't believe you haven't done this earlier. Tom. Yes, Charlie. My answer is the same as it's been for the last 3 motherfucking months, okay? But I like Charlie. So I give Charlie the benefit of the doubt. And now he's going to be in the comments, Tom, because he doesn't watch the whole motherfucking thing. And he's going to ask me a question, and I'm going to say, Charlie. And then he's going to say something. I'm going to come back on and go, Tom, will you tickle my balls for me? No, Charlie, I won't tickle your balls for you. So, we haven't had an episode like this, but a lot of you new in the audience need to know who the hell Lewis, the 3 stages of Lewis are, the OSU U of M lines, the eventual John Madden, which you will hear, but I just don't have the testicular fortitude to do it in this episode without my head exploding. And then we've got Tom, the new Charlie. Tom. So, we got a bunch of Charlies in the audience. It's about time I name them. Charlie. Can you get it right? Charlie. Tom. Charlie. So I got Lewis. Charlie. Who the hell was the other douchebag? I don't remember. But he didn't stay on the radar. So the 3 stages of Lewis, you guys should be honored. I'm gonna have to make it. I'm gonna make a t-shirt. If somebody would help me with that. If somebody makes me a 3 stages of Lewis t-shirt, like the idea, if you're a good graphic designer, if you help me set it up, I will cut you in on a portion of all proceeds. We can work something out. But if you help me with the 3 stages of Lewis, or the Lewis lines, or get with it or get the fuck out. If you help me and we set something up to where my audience can buy it, this is what I want to do. This is why I haven't put any of my merchandise out and haven't advertised anything in a long time. I want this to be community based. So if somebody's got a graphics designing, or if you're good at designing t-shirts, or if you have a connection, and you can do either the Lewis lines, the 3 stages of Lewis, obviously my Tom's Army, which the logo's already been designed, so you know who you are, who created it. If you wanted to do that with that design, obviously we could work something out. And then, yeah, so I want to do a bunch of things with the community so we can all propel forward. It's not all about me. I can use this platform, and a lot of us can change our lives for the better. So if you have a skill that's unique to what I need, well, you could just benefit in more ways than you know. I'd rather reach out for somebody in my community. No, not reach around, reach out to somebody in the community. Lewis, that's why we reach around the lines, Lewis, so I know if it's support or a fake out, Lewis. You guys get the picture? So if you're good at graphic designing, or if you know how to design t-shirts, or if you are interested in what I'm saying, hey, reach out to me and we can work something out. So with XLM, I'm looking for the move up to 37 initially, and then I believe we're going to go up to 39 if we can break this, but I expect us to get to that top at 40 cents. So stay blessed, everybody. I know this was a fucked up update.